Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to this weekend edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital. I am Bob the Jonathan, and our top stories at this news are: insecurity, crime wave gaining grounds in urban and rural areas across the Republic of Cameroon, suspected kidnappers, producers and distributors of fake banknotes, bandits arrested here and there at close intervals of time by forces of law and order. But the ills continue prospering in several parts of the Republic of Cameroon. We're going to be taking you to Yaoundé and Bangante in the center and west regions, respectively, in these newscasts. And after his official ordination, the Bishop of Manfili, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, His Lordship Aloysius Fondon Abangalo, now expected to put his hands on the plow to press for peace, not only in his area of command, but the entire Anglophone regions in crisis for close to 6 years today, and the nation at large. Stay with us. We begin this newscast with updates on violence in the academic milieu, better still in schools across the Republic of Cameroon. Notably, the latest incident recorded in Government Technical High School, Bolowa, where a student stabbed another one to near death. And of course, we bring into you updates on that incident in this report compiled by Maple.
Junior Eboa Atangana, currently receiving medical attention at the Bolowa Regional Reference Hospital. He was stabbed on the campus of Government Technical High School in Bolowa as he intervened in a fight between two students. The fight occurred during break while the victim was in class writing an exam. At the end of the exam, he noticed one of his friends was involved in a fight. As he tried intervening, he was stabbed with a knife. The alleged stabber, popularly called Kilo, was a lower state student who got dismissed from the establishment but managed to smuggle into the campus to carry out what he termed as revenge. Furious over what happened, several students resorted to throwing stones at security officers who prevented them from carrying out mob justice. Reacting to the incident, parents in the Bolowa denounced the rise in cases of violence in school milieus. These students do not even respect their teachers. What more of their fellow classmates? In Cameroon, we cannot stay for 1 month without getting news of a student stabbing either his teacher or a classmate. Parents should follow up their children and train them with good manners. I'm equally not happy with the fact that the images of the stabbers all over social media. It is wrong. Luckily enough for the victim, the prompt intervention of health personnel was able to save his life. Kilo is currently kept behind bars.
3 alleged kidnappers arrested in Yaoundé are now facing the heavy arm of the law. They were arrested by officers of the Central Regional Gendarmerie Légion, the Central Gendarmerie Légion, and Gendarmerie sources say they kidnapped a young man in Soie in the Yaoundé 2 subdivision. The victim recounts that he was threatened with a knife before being tied up and taken away. According to the father of the young man, the alleged kidnappers stormed his residence, asking for 5 million francs CFA per head, that is for 9 persons and 3 dogs. When he resisted, the young man was taken away. And of course, the information got to security or forces of law and order, notably the National Gendarmerie, and of course investigations led to the arrest of the alleged kidnappers. And in Bangante, in the west region of the Republic of Cameroon, a gang of 5 suspected bandits also waiting for the law to decide the fate of the members, and the suspects were arrested by the police in possession of a significant number of fake banknotes. Aged between 25 and 35 years, they were arrested during a fake banknote exchange operation. They were reportedly going from one store or business site to another trying to buy with the fake banknotes, and the police says they were part of a vast network of fake banknote distribution in Yaoundé, and of course they are now in the hands of the judicial authorities. Indigenous of Orenge Village in the Senegal Maritime Division, littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon, on the streets. They took to the streets protesting against a traditional leader, and they consider the traditional leader as illegal. They are rejecting the traditional leader installed after over 15 years of vacancy. The chieftaincy crisis has provoked social tensions in the village. The people are also protesting against underdevelopment challenges affecting the area. Schools and other public buildings abandoned in ruins, and social amenities, potable water and electricity are other problems that sent the people out of their homes. Inadequate provision of social amenities and of course supply of electricity and potable water problems affecting several parts of the Republic of Cameroon, from the big cities to the hinterlands. These problems are making life already quite difficult for the people in several parts of the country. And the chief of that village, notably Orenge Village in the Senegal Maritime Division, Isaac Roger Manga, says he became chief by recognition of the people, validated by the Ministry of Traditional or Territorial Administration, the Ministry of Territorial Administration, and of course the people are denouncing what they consider as unorthodox interference of the administration in the traditional setup in that part of the littoral region of the Republic of Cameroon. Now to Bafoussam, we're bringing to you images of the tribute ceremony, the tributes paid to the prison officers who were killed in the northwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. The Northwest Regional Delegate of Penitentiary Administration and 3 prison warders who were killed at the line of duty. They were paid tributes yesterday in the West Regional Chieftain Bafoussam. Stella reports.
It is a respect-paying ceremony, but not the way anyone could wish. Family members and well-wishers are yet to recover after watching images of how the 4 prison staff now lying in state were killed.
Well, it's unfortunate that in a council of brothers there can be this kind of extended threat. These are young Cameroonians, and they have their future, their lives, their career ahead of them. A lot of things to accomplish. Their life have been cut short by a senseless war. Something that I don't know how to define it any longer, because in the midst of it, we are losing almost everything, and even the things that maybe people say they are fighting for. At the end of the day, I just pray and say that God will grant wisdom to our leaders, and also wisdom to every other Cameroonian that is involved in this thing, to be able to see how they can resolve these issues.
Awono Yannick, Kiga Theodore, Nang Lionel and Afu Nelson lost their lives in action. These 4 have quit abruptly, leaving their families unaccompanied. The war in Anglophone Cameroon has killed thousands already. Many believe government is not doing enough to end the bloodshed. Every day, one family's pain is being repeated across the country. Although property and livelihoods have been destroyed, dreams killed as violence continues to escalate in parts of the northwest and southwest regions, the human cost of the war has been the heaviest to bear.
After his ordination yesterday, the Bishop of Manfi in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, His Lordship Aloysius Fondong Abangalo, is now expected to put his hands on the plow to press for peace and normalcy, not only in his area of command but across Anglophone Cameroon, the northwest and southwest regions, in political and socio-security tensions for close to 6 years today, and why not the nation at large. He was officially installed. That was yesterday in Manfi, and we have details in this report compiled by Innocent Aze.
They are playing their role to welcome their boss, Joseph Betia Somo, Minister of Defense, and to ensure peaceful holding of the episcopal ordination of His Lordship Aloysius Fondong Abangalo as Bishop of the Manfi Diocese at the St. Joseph Cathedral Church of Manfi.
Receive the Crocia, the sign of your pastoral office, and keep watch over the flock in which the Holy Spirit has placed you as Bishop to govern the Church of God.
A lot is expected from him by the mammoth crowd that braved the odds to witness the ordination of their new shepherd.
I see him to be a humble servant, and I strongly believe that they will take good care to grow the diocese of Manfi. What he met from his predecessors should be increased.
We will continue to pray for him so that he is able to accomplish the mission that our Lord God has devolved on him.
The ordination that brought for the very first time in Manfi a college of bishops is believed will reinstate peace.
It's been long to have this number of bishops. It means they really came sent by the Lord. And the first message in all this is to show that the Lord has determined to give us the peace.
Bishop Aloysius Abangalo's pastoral work should touch Lebialem and other remote areas in Manu Division, reason why the faithfuls put a sophisticated vehicle and enough resources at the disposal of their shepherd.
We want him to help us bring social peace and living together to our community.
Bishop Aloysius Abangalo, in his speech, pledged to lead his flock to the right path with the collaboration of all to make the joint mission a success.
I would like to express profound gratitude to His Holiness Pope Francis, who appointed me to be the chief shepherd of the people of God in the Diocese of Manfi.
Before his appointment as Bishop of Manfi, he was priest in the Boya Diocese.
Innocent Aze reporting there on the installation or official ordination of the Bishop of Manfi, His Lordship Aloysius Fondong Abangalo. Now on to something else. We're going to talk about Dr. John Kingston, who has been confirmed by the United States Senate to be the next U.S. Ambassador at Large, coordinator of the United States government activities to combat HIV and AIDS globally. He's a Cameroonian, and we talked to another Cameroonian public health expert, Professor Henry Formunda, and this is his reaction to this. Unfortunately, we're not going to have that in this newscast, but I should indicate right away that Professor Jose Kiriga, who is another public health expert, has written reacting to the confirmation of Dr. John Kingston by the United States Senate as the next U.S. Ambassador at Large, coordinator of the United States government activities to combat HIV and AIDS globally. And Professor Kiriga says congratulations to Dr. Kingston. Departure from Africa CDC will be a major loss for Africa. And he's talking there about the departure of Dr. John Kingston from the Africa CDC. And on the other hand, he says Africa has the largest burden of HIV/AIDS, and so the emergence or the coming to that position of responsibility of Dr. John Kingston is going to help a lot in the fight against HIV and AIDS on the African continent. Now we'll bring to you the reaction of Professor Henry Famunda, one of Cameroon's top public health experts. He's in South Africa. Take a listen. All right, we'll be coming back to that in subsequent news editions. Time for us to move over to talking points right away. Thank you for joining us in Talking Points today. The program is consecrated to the aged persons, and of course we're going to be talking about how to take care of aged persons and the lifeless body of an 88-year-old man whose only name we got as Stephen is reported to have been found in an advanced state of decomposition in a farm that is in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon, and the corpse is said to have been discovered that was recently. This was by a group of farmers in the locality of Barombikang in Kumba, Meme Division, southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. The deceased, according to family sources, had been missing for a week, and all attempts by relatives to know his whereabouts were simply vain. And this raises the question how to take care of persons who have already attained an advanced age. And we're going to be discussing that with a Christian and civil society leader, Elder Lawrence Ngota. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babila Jonathan.
The founder of Center for Aged Persons in Boya, based in Boya, in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. What's your reaction, first of all, to the situation I just presented earlier? An aged person of about 88 years old who gets missing, and then later on his mortal remains discovered in a farm.
Yeah, Mr. Babila Jonathan, thank you very much for inviting me. And I want to say it's a sad case. Looking at the age of Pa Richard, as he is called, or he was called, I think at that age, he needed more attention, more care around him. I think there was a lapse somewhere. The reason maybe he wandered away, and what happened. Normally, after 60 years, we need a lot of care and attention from the family, from loved ones, from the community, so that we don't lose our family members like that. I think it's a breach somewhere. That is the reason why what happened really happened. It is really sad what happened.
We're talking there about the absence of what we can call close follow-up or care that is supposed to be given to persons who have reached a certain advanced age, and that absence seems to be experienced almost everywhere in all the communities, practically in all families across the country, where aged persons, most of them sometimes considered as wizards or witches.
Yeah, Mr. Babila, it is no news. We see it every day. We experience them every day. Now, let me start by saying this. If you have a 2-year-old child, I don't think you leave that child unattended to for more than 2 hours, especially if the child is walking around. The child needs constant attention. Make sure what the child eats, you follow up where the child goes to, all that. It's the same thing when we have aged parents. It's the same thing when we have elderly persons around us. They need constant care, constant support for us to always know what they do, where they go to, what they are doing. But unfortunately, in our societies today, ageism is not a blessing, as I can put it. Ageism is more of a curse, because the moment you get to, let's say, 60 and above, they start seeing you as a witch, as a wizard. And let me tell you, there are a lot of health complications.
Some little connection issues there with Ella Lawrence and Gota, founder of Gota Foundation for the Aged. Okay, he's right back there. Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay, so like I was saying, ageism in Africa or in Cameroon is considered more like a curse than a blessing. I think to attain old age is more of a blessing, but recently we see it as a curse because of the way we treat the elderly in our communities. We don't give them the care, the support they need. We traumatize them, we assault them, we insult them, even inflict pains on them. You know, like I was saying, a child of 2 years, you cannot just leave the child to wander about. You monitor the child, what the child does and all that. The same attention should be given to our parents who are aged, who are elderly, and we should monitor what they do, where they go to and all that, so that what happened to Barrow Church shouldn't happen to them. Unfortunately, the moment a person gets to 70, 80 years, the younger generation starts looking at them as if they are witches and wizards, as if they are the ones tying their destinies, they are the ones holding them down not to succeed. And they start blaming their laziness upon our parents who have been a blessing to us, and which is really sad. Frankly, I will say this, our parents, they need our support, they need our help, they need our attention. That's just all they want from us.
What is responsible for this mindset, this perception of old people who are often considered as a burden, as witches and wizards? What's responsible for that? We know in Africa there is this culture of taking care of our loved ones, respecting them, honoring them. But today it's practically the contrary that we are experiencing. What's responsible for that?
Unfortunately, we today want to give our parents befitting burial and not a befitting life, which is sad. I think we should give our parents a befitting life and not a befitting burial. Why should you spend 2 million, 10 million to bury a father who, or a mother, when he or she was alive, hardly had something to eat or couldn't get his or her medications? Meanwhile, that's what you're supposed to do. The care is for most. And some attempts to blame these parents of being witches or wizards out of laziness. It's because at times we are lazy, that is why we blame them. And because we are just being careless. And I want to also say this. Yes, I am a Christian, but even some people around who call themselves men of God, they don't help things, because to get the fame of certain people, they tell you your father, your mother is the one in charge of your failures, maybe you're not succeeding in life, your parents are the ones. It is not true. It might not be true. I'm not clearing up the chance that they are not witches or wizards, but in most cases, they are just victims of circumstances. Yeah, that's
to ask you that, as a Christian leader and elder in the Apostolic Church, Cameroon, there's often part of the blame attributed to preachers who tend to, stigmatize old people in preaching, in their messages, and go a long way to create this idea of old people being synonymous to witch, wizard, and so on.
Yeah, you see, Mr. Babila, there is something very interesting. If you meet a child of, maybe you meet a young boy, you ask the child, how old are you? Aging is a process. all of us will go through one day. And unfortunately, not all of us might have the chance to get to old age. So who you call a witch today, the same thing will happen to you. And it is so painful, you as a parent, having taken care of your children, and then at a certain time, when you still love them, and then they don't want to see you, they consider you a witch. Remember, in Africa, we are never big for our parents. You might be 50 years, if your mother is still alive, your mother will still want to check, have you eaten? Are you okay? They are worried about us. They want to see us be in good shape, in good condition. So we are never big for our parents. So it becomes a stigma if we start labeling them with some titles and treating them, feel marginalized, feel as if they are not worth it again. It is sad, especially in the Christian milieu, that we are supposed to show love. Remember, even in the Bible, they say, honor your parents so that you may live long. So one of the secrets of living long like your parents is treating them well, honoring them.
The pastors of the Apostolic Church was talking about this and saying that if some of those old people are practicing witchcraft or doing some mystical things, the problem isn't with them, but with the spirit that is manipulating them, that is behind them and causing them to do some of these things. Reason why the attack shouldn't be on them, but on the spirit.
Let me make a point clear here. Now, there are some complications that come with ageism, or as we grow old. We may suffer from high blood pressure, from stroke, from diabetes, even loss of memory, which is very common nowadays. And maybe coming back to the story of Pa Richard, it might have been that maybe there was no follow-up. Maybe he had maybe dementia, and then he forgot where he came from because he just wandered off from the house. And then he just went off and never knew where he was coming from. And then that's all. He just went and something happened. The worst happened. Now, some of our parents, as they grow old, their brain begin to shrink. Their memory, they begin to lose their memory. They don't reason the same way they reason while they were 35 or 40 or 50. They start behaving as a child that you can bear witness. If you have a parent that is above 60 in your house, they tend to behave like children, or at times they behave funny. I've seen a case where a grandma goes into bed and then comes out naked with a pant on her head, and then you will say it is witchcraft. It is not really witchcraft. Some of these things, it is due to the complications that come. It might be maybe partial loss of memory or full loss of memory, and then she doesn't know what to really do. Now, we, the children or the loved ones, the community, it is our place to show them, to help them to know what to do and not tag their names. Because mind you, tomorrow we'll get to that position. And knowing these things today, the complications of aging or what it takes for you to go old and then the complications, will make us to live responsibly and age in a way that it will not be a burden to us or to our children or the community.
In the Western world, there are centers for aged persons, but that idea is not yet part and parcel of the daily realities of Africans, Cameroonians and other Africans, because this is seen as, it could be seen or interpreted as exclusion or isolation, isolating the aged persons, and that is not yet part of our own way of doing things in Africa. But you have established a center for aged persons in Kumba, the Ngota Foundation for the Aged. What prompted you to establish that center?
Okay, let me first of all correct this. Actually, now we have not actually established a center, but we are working on something. Now, the foundation has as objectives for now, we want to sensitize the public on what it takes, or what the elderly, what they go through, the stigma they go through, the treatment they get, and all that. The basic care they need from us. So we are sensitizing the public that these people who brought us to earth, they are not actually what we tag them. What they want is the best for us. Okay, coming to the second question, what prompted me to get into this? I will say the story. It is a bit sad, but I think it is for the purpose of reawakening the mind and consciences of those who still have their parents with them. About 9 years ago, my father got up one day that he was going to the farm, and that was it. He never came back. Till date, as I'm talking to you now, no trace of him has been found, nothing. And that's how he disappeared. Really, when he retired, he began showing some symptoms of ageism. By then, I was ignorant of what ageism is all about and the complications that comes with it. I took him to the hospital, and the doctor
a sad story of the disappearance of the father of our guest, and his whereabouts is still unknown till today, and there are still expectations that despite the unstable security situation in the southwest and northwest regions of the country, it could still be found. And Lawrence, if you're back online, can we hear the rest of that story?
Like I said, it's been May this month. May on the 7th is going to make it 9 years, and we are already losing hope that we'll ever see him again. Because when I met with the doctor told me with age his brain is shrinking and he's losing his memory. So maybe he wandered away, and maybe what happened to Parrish also happened to him. It's still a hypothesis. That is how it is till today. We did searches for so long, and nothing has been found. So the purpose of creating this foundation is to create awareness that you who still have your father, you still have your mother in the village, don't stay in town and waste everything. Call them, take them to the hospital, do them regular medical checkups. At times, bring them to the city to stay with you. Get a caregiver, let them stay with you. You know, you talked about homes for the aged in Europe and other countries. In Africa or in Cameroon especially, if you should take your parent to maybe a home for the elderly, they might curse you, because we believe in living with our parents. We learn from them. They're full of knowledge. They're full of wisdom that we are supposed to tap from. So they want to live with us. They want to stay with us. If we take them to such homes, frankly, I tell you, Mr. Babila, some of them can lay a curse on you, that you don't want to see them again, that you hate them, and they'll start giving you names. So one of the main objectives of this foundation is to let you know that your father, your mother is a blessing to you. And let me say this, most of the times on your TV station, you always put images of missing persons. Some of them might be suffering from loss of memory and they wander off. And the treatment will give some of them, when found, maybe in unknown areas, will say they are witches and wizards, and they on the knee, and they start beating them. And they start stoning them and bring them physical torment on them. It might not be the case. Maybe they just need help. Some of them, they don't even know their names. They forget their names, forget the names of their children, or where they even came from. So they need support, that you don't treat them like witches or wizards. Take them to the nearest police station, to the radio or to the TV, and say this person was found, and then the person might be located to the family. But most of the time, especially in big cities like Douala and Yaoundé, when we see such persons who wander off, we say he was flying or she was flying and then she fell off. Or some of us Christians who are too holy will say we were praying and then she fell. It might not be the case. I can say 99% of such persons, especially when they are old, they suffer from loss of memory, and then they wander off. They don't even know where to go back to their home, how to do to get back to their home, or even the name of their family members. And that is how some of them get to the worst. Some of them even die.
All right, we are wrapping up the Lawrence Gota. Before we go, you said the center has not yet been established, but you're in the process. You're already doing something. How far do you intend to go with this, with the foundation?
We want to go as far as possible, making it sure that each elderly person can benefit from from what they're supposed to get. To awaken the consciences of many. But I'll tell you, even now, even though we're not fully established, but we have activities we have been carrying on, like free medical checkups in some areas. We organize free medical checkup for high blood, diabetes, prostates, and all that. Those complications that come with aging, we do it free. And then we also do some free donations of hygiene and sanitation kits to some areas that some people that really need them. In cases that maybe.
That was Eda Lawrence Ngota, founder of Ngota Foundation for the Aged. Thank you for being with us in this edition of the news on Equinoxe Television. And this is where we draw the final curtain on this edition of the news. In less than 30 minutes, Serge Longotu and his guest will be yours with Equinoxe. Stay with us.